I'm Abbey Wick. I'm the NDSU Extension Soil Health Specialist, and I've been in North Dakota, I suppose, about 8 years now, and really relied on information from other people to custom tailor the soil health program to our state. So this is the second year hosting the Dirt Workshop. Before, it was called the Conservation Tillage Conference as a joint effort with University of Minnesota, and we had a lot of success there, and we've tried to reach more people through separate events. So here we are with a virtual Dirt Workshop now. I was going to talk a little bit about what we learned from last year's Dirt Workshop and how we've kind of incorporated some of those ideas into this year's virtual workshop. You know, I think we left last year and I was excited to do another face-to-face, and I thought, boy, I got this in the bag. I've done this once, and then everything switched to virtual. But we carried a lot of those concepts that were really popular from last year's Dirt Workshop into the virtual. And so if we look at this first, kind of information about the top 5 sessions that were popular or found very useful from last year's in-person Dirt Workshop. And we see it's the breakout sessions, both with demonstrations, the panel discussions, the cafe-style talks, the farmer show and tell. And so what we've done is we tried to incorporate those breakout sessions more with panel discussions. I think we realized that it's tough to watch somebody give a presentation on Zoom. That's difficult to do, so we wanted to make sure that they're very interactive and discussion-based. So you'll see today as we go through the day that everything is a live panel. And I think that's going to be really exciting, give you a lot of good information and a great way for us to customize that information based on your questions in the Q&A. We also have the cafe-style talks that there'll be 30-minute sessions right before lunch, and there are 3 of them back-to-back, and you can go in and have those conversations with each other about a specific topic. But we also recognize the farmer show and tell, or those really informal interactions that people have in the hallway, are really important. So we did create a virtual hallway for you to drop in and meet other people there, or say in the chat, hey, anybody want to meet in the virtual hallway to talk about XYZ? Or some of your buddies maybe that you met last year at Dirt, you'll see them on here at the virtual workshop, and try to connect with them and meet them again in that virtual hallway. And who knows, maybe Tim and I will stop in there every once in a while and check out what's going on. So we tried to bring all those great sessions from last year that we had in person to a virtual format, and I think we've done a really good job of that. So I want to take a look at too what people adopted from last year's Dirt Workshop. And these numbers are always great. These are practices that are being considered for adoption by farmers who attended the workshop. And if you look at it, 30% are thinking about a cover crop after harvest of a cash crop. So that's primarily in our area, wheat. So getting something established after a small grain, wheat or barley. Evaluating soil health in your fields is another one being adopted. And you can kind of go across that bar graph. And the one that's most likely, being considered for adoption is the use of cover crops to manage problematic areas. And that one's interesting, which led to a whole session on managing problematic areas of sodium-based soils, salinity, low pH that we have tomorrow. So you can see some of these things are integrated into the program based on what people were considering adopting last year. So that's pretty exciting. But the stuff that gets me really excited are these network ideas. I think Tim and I both love talking about connections and communication and the way people are interacting and connecting. And so if some of you, if you're in North Dakota, you probably attended a cafe talk that we've had. I think they started in 2014, which is a lot of cheeseburgers ago. But we started them in 2014, and in 2019 we did an evaluation. And these are basically just informal discussion sessions where we meet up at a local cafe, we have some conversations. It's very similar to what you're going to experience this afternoon before lunch. And one of the things we asked farmers who attended those cafe talks was, could you list 4 farmers that you talk to most often about soil health? And so those farmers listed 4 names. There were 51 farmers that chose to do that. And what we found from those names they listed is that the largest connected group of farmers that were listed by name within that evaluation was 20. So 20 farmers are somehow connected through each other by the listing of names. And then when we also asked them to list, which is the next graphic, is who do you talk to that's not a farmer about soil health? And so if we move forward to that one, you'll see a bunch of different colored dots on this one, which are for consultants and in blue, and farmers in yellow, and financial institutions in black, and government in red, and industry in blue, and NDSU in green. And of those same respondents, we now have a largest connected group of 116 people, which is really amazing. And so not only do my bosses love seeing this, but I get a lot of information from this telling me that we are better when we're working together as multiple groups, when we're working with the people that are in our virtual exhibit hall, and we're working with the NRCS people that are part of the cafe talks as well, and we're working with NDSU researchers and Extension, and then those consultants who are influencing a lot of acres with their being a trusted advisor to farmers, and then farmers in that piece too. So, you know, seeing a group that's nearly 6 times the size of the other one when it's farmers alone is pretty powerful. So that's the kind of stuff that gets me excited about soil health.
Well, that is awesome. And can you talk a little bit, Abby, maybe if I could put you on the spot here a little bit, you know, about this diagram here, you know, how does this help sort of inform the way that we approach soil health messages in North Dakota, and how could it help beyond?
You know, I think each one of those people listed on there, I mean, I know who they are because I'm allowed to see that information. I never share that, but it tells me who are the people that are sought out the most for soil health information. And so that helps me find those farmers or consultants or people in industry that I want to make sure they have the information that we're generating at NDSU. So that's a huge thing for me to find those individuals. But then also to know that if one person isn't part of the network anymore, that network persists and it moves forward, and it's something that isn't dependent on one person, it's dependent on everybody. And so that's pretty exciting.